Hi and welcome to this short presentation to our latest release of Hippo, the Specialist Management Optimization and Planning Tool for Informatica. This is version 3 of Hippo, and we're particularly proud of version 3. It contains a whole new look and feel and lots of great new features which I think you're going to find very beneficial and useful in your work with Informatica. In this short video, which is the first of a series, I'll briefly cover each of the main functions within Hippo, and in the course of the videos we'll show you how easy it is to use Hippo to drill down from high level analysis of your environment to focus on the individual nodes, workflows, folders, sessions and transformations that it's made up of. Okay, let's begin. The screen that you can see here is Hippo's dashboard screen, and on the left we can see the main Hippo menu. There are 9 menu options, and a further 2 menu options appear whenever we drill down to workflows and sessions. I will cover each of the 9 options in a presentation like this one as part of this series, but allow me, if you can, to briefly mention them here. Firstly, we have the Notification Center, which is a place in Hippo to define the alerts that you wish to receive on long-running workflows and sessions, when errors occur, and when resource thresholds are breached. The dashboard is next, and that's the main topic of this presentation, so more about that to come. Resources is third in the menu, and this is where Hippo analyses CPU, memory, data movement and file system usage in detail. Next we have Vital Signs, where Hippo gives you a real-time view of the status of your Informatica environment. And fifth in the menu is Activity Monitor, where you can choose from a live, that is a real-time, or a historic view of activity across your entire Informatica estate. Then we have the Search Facility, which offers sophisticated search facilities, all the way down from simple name searches through to sophisticated analysis based on CPU usage or memory usage, so that you can set performance thresholds and then identify those processes which exceed those performance thresholds. Seventh in the menu is the Analysis section, where we take a deep dive into performance characteristics of workflows, sessions and folders, and we'll also look at the trends in their performance, so you have some advanced notice of where these performance trends are heading. The penultimate menu option is Capacity Planning, where we group everything required to plan capacity for your entire estate, or for a single node, or even for an application in a single place. And lastly, we have the administrative functions, which I'll say much more about in later presentations. But let's return to the dashboard screen. This contains the 6 most commonly used charts in Hippo. So let's take them in turn. We have elapsed time by folder, which tells you essentially where Informatica is spending its time in your environment. If I hover the mouse over each of the areas within the donut chart, then the folder name and the percentage value appears. And you'll find that this feature is available whenever a donut chart is used within Hippo. Next we have the dashboard metrics, a summary of data processed by Informatica in this time frame in terms of rows read, written and added to lookup caches across your environment. Then to the right we have a summary of the rows successfully written, rows failed and in amber, the rows rejected overall in your environment. Again, hover your mouse over each section to get the percentage values. So as you can see here, the narrative successful executions appears, and we have 98% successful executions. Likewise, 1% of failures and 1% of rejections. If I scroll down, there are a further 3 charts in the dashboard. The first provides memory analysed by the percentage of available memory used per project. Next we have the CPU breakdown by project, again allocating a percentage of total available CPU at each sample point to the Informatica projects active at that time. And lastly we have data movement by project, which provides a total number of target rows written for each of the projects active over our time frame. If you need to have more space to view these charts, Then you can obtain more space by simply clicking on the solid line to the left, which turns the menu toggle off, and then click again on the line when you're ready for the menu to come back again. And the dashboard is really the simplest of all of the options within Hippo. And that's as much as I want to say about the dashboard at this point in time. However, I would like to explain two terms which I used earlier, time frame and project. How do we define these in Hippo? Well, we have several options to define a time frame in Hippo. If I click on the time and date selector at the top of the screen here, then these appear. We can select a predefined date range set by your administrator. Here we have demo data. You might have last night's overnight run, for example. You can also select from other predefined date ranges, such as last hour, previous 24 hours, previous week, and previous month. The final two options allow you to select a specific date or date range by clicking on the right arrow and enabling our calendar widget to appear, as you can see here. We can click on a specific date and select a specific date, and then refresh the data on the screen. And so we only see data now for the 29th of November, or we can select a date range. So we could select, for example, the 28th of November at 2300 hours to the 29th at, perhaps we want to look just at the first middle few hours of the overnight batch, so we select 2 AM in the morning, giving us a 3-hour time frame, and we select refresh, and as you can see in the background, the data refreshes on the screen. The refresh button always flashes to alert you to refresh the data after you've changed your time frame selection. Click anywhere outside of the calendar widget and it disappears. So this is how you can use Hippo to either narrow your focus, as we have here, to just 3 hours of the overnight window, perhaps to focus in on a particular problem area in your overnight batch, or indeed you could widen that date and time scope to be several days, or perhaps a month, or even several months, so that you can look at the trends in your environment. Finally, I'd like to look at the other data filtering option within Hippo. If I click on Add Filter, then a variety of filtering options become available. There are two categories. The first includes all of the constituent parts of your Informatica environment to enable you to filter by node, by repository, by domain, by grid, by host, or by integration service. And the second category is project. In Hippo, the term project is used to denote a logical grouping of objects defined by you. This means that you can group any Informatica and non-Informatica processes together to monitor and trend their performance and resource consumption as a group. One common use of project is to define the processes that together make up an individual application. The use of projects is a very powerful feature in Hippo, and you'll hear lots more about projects in later presentations. So that brings me to the end of my short introduction to Hippo and presentation on the dashboard. I've covered not just the dashboard, but I've also told you a little bit about each of the menu options on the left and how we can filter data within Hippo, both by date and time range, and also by a whole number of other aspects of data, such as Informatica constructs like node and integration service, and also by Hippo's own project concept. So that completes this short presentation, and I look forward to welcoming you to the next presentation on the Notification Centre. Thank you.